Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisam Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Before we start the Gita, let us all, Gita, song of Krishna, Sri Krishna. So let us all salute and bow down at his lotus feet before we start. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chaduramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. I salute unto you, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Guru, Master of the world, Son of Vasudeva, Supreme Bliss of Devaki, Destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura. I bow down to you at your lotus feet. So, by nature, your inner space is the space of completion. It is filled with energy. See, understand, whatever you refer to as Atman, spirit, soul, all that is inner space. When you empty your inner space from all your goals and incompletions, the more space of completion and bliss will happen. Understand? If you continuously think about the result, you will never be able to perform your action with completion. This is the essence. Unless your thinking itself becomes integrated to your positivity, unless your working itself becomes authentic to the peak of your possibility, unless your life itself becomes the responsibility to enrich yourself and others, unless that itself becomes completion and bliss, you cannot experience what Krishna says in this verse, Karmanyevadhikarasya Mabhaleshu kadachana. Never make the mistake of thinking that you will be fulfilled when your purpose is fulfilled. Your fulfillment is completely different from the fulfillment of your purpose. And I also told you the technique for inner and outer worlds yesterday. Just the entire Gita is only about this one idea. How to furnish your outer space with the ultimate luxuries and how to keep your inner space empty, which in result will be ultimate bliss. Understand, Lord Krishna is the only one who has produced a formula for inner space and outer space together. Otherwise, usually people think you have to run away from everything to experience inner world. No, nothing like that. Swamiji initiated each and every disciple and devotee into completion, science of completion, which Bhagavan Sri Krishna is initiated to Arjuna. That is the reason, just like that we are sitting here and manifesting things. Krishna is the only one who has produced a formula for inner space and outer space together. He teaches you how to keep your inner space in eternal bliss and keep your outer space in ultimate luxury. BMW at the same time. Krishna, he lived as a king. He wasn't just like a king. He wasn't just like a king. He was a king. Understand? It's not that he just lived like a king. He was really a king. Bhagavan, Krishna, he doesn't give long-term solutions. He gives immediate solutions, permanent solutions. Only Krishna's solution is useful for people who are living a regular lifestyle. We are not living like monks. We haven't given up our job or our family or luxuries or body comforts. We have everything. That is why Krishna is a solution which is useful for people who are living a regular lifestyle. Here he says, not merely by abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from action. You can't achieve freedom from action by abstaining from work. Nor can fulfillment come by giving up action. You can't achieve freedom from action by moving away from work. No. Every step in your life, anything you try to protect by hiding, only becomes more and more powerlessness and more suffering. And you move out of your life more and more. Moving away from your spouse, business partner, family, or any of the forces that exist in your life is not an intelligent decision. Just because we move away, that does not mean we are out of the problem. We are out of that nagging. We always think moving away from people or actions to protect our habits and patterns is freedom. That is the biggest bondage. You know why? You are being driven away from your own life by your own patterns, only to hide your patterns or your habits or to get away with them. We move away from people, isn't it? But that is the biggest bondage, because we are being driven away from our own life. People who move away from life, work, and people to save their pattern are in the worst bondage ever. Because you are being controlled by your habits and patterns, isn't it? Abstaining from work or moving away from work cannot give you freedom from action. It puts you in the biggest bondage. To have freedom from action, your inner space needs to be purified. Your inner space should become empty to allow the natural space of completion in you. You need to remove the furniture of incompletions from your complete inner space. Renouncing furniture in the outer world is not going to help you. Only removing furniture from the inner world is going to enrich you. Please understand, whether you are hiding something inside you from life or trying to hide something outside you from life, your own incompletions will destroy you. You don't need a separate punishment. Life is too powerful to cheat. Cheat it with your logic. It functions with a simple natural law of existence. It has its own natural dharma. The power of the natural law of existence is such that nobody needs to teach you. Understand? The power of the natural law of existence is such that nobody needs to teach you. By your very birth, if you start growing, you will get it. The inauthentic idea that life has a purpose should be renounced. It's not the things you should renounce. Understand? You don't have to renounce your Mercedes Benz or your solitaire necklace. No. You have to renounce the inauthentic idea that life has a purpose. Life is a possibility, not purpose. Understand? Life is too powerful to cheat it with your logic, because it functions with a simple natural law of existence, a natural dharma. Just by renouncing, just by outer renunciation, authenticity in action, karma yoga can never be achieved. What is authenticity? Building your own identity to the peak possibility and renouncing the identity built on purpose. So beautiful. Listen. Building your own identity to the peak possibility and renouncing the identity built on purpose. What do you want to become? Every one of you deep down has a fantasy about becoming all-powerful, all-knowing, Sarvajna, all-powerful, all-knowing, Sarvajna. That is the meaning of Sarvajna. So now build that peak inner image, project the peak outer image, and take the responsibility to fulfill others' image of you. Means what others are expecting from you based on whatever you project. See, understand, people expect from you because based on what you have projected to them about you, isn't it? Of course, 50% is that, 50% their own incompletions. That's a different issue altogether. I tell you, authenticity in action is the strategy plan for your life, is the strategy plan for your business, is the strategy plan for your education, is a definitely strategy plan with your spouse. The quality of cunningness may be useful for a short time, a few days, a few years, a few lifetimes, but not for all lifetimes. If you learn and develop the quality of authenticity in action, it is the strategy for planning your life after life. It's a very successful strategy plan. Authenticity will help you identify your real enemy. Understand, your real enemy is not the powerlessness you experience in moving away or running after a purpose. It is ignorance of your purposelessness. All of us are ignorant of our purposelessness. One more thing, if we renounce the outer world, we will think about the outer world even more. Don't think it will go away. When we renounce outer world, we will think about it even more. Really. A small story. An enlightened master and his disciple were walking near a river. They were supposed to cross the river to go to their monastery, ashram. On the way, a young lady was standing near a river. She wanted to cross the river but was afraid to do so. She asked the master, "Master, can you help me cross this river?" He said, "Why not? Please come." He just lifted her, crossed the river, left her on the other bank, and continued walking towards the ashram. The disciple was observing the whole scene, how the master, helped the other person. And this disciple was not able to digest what he saw. He was angry. Maybe he was jealous also. After reaching the ashram, he was not able to control himself and asked his master, "Master, you are a sannyasi, monk. How can you touch a woman? That too a young woman, and carry her through the river?" The master turned, smiled at him and said, "I left her long ago. Why are you still carrying her?" And questioning was, he's still carrying that lady in his inner space. Please understand, renouncing your identity in the inner space or emptying your inner space and creating the space of completion and creation is the real thing to be achieved. That is YOGAH KARMASU KAUSALAM. YOGAH KARMASU KAUSALAM. Authenticity in action. YOGAH KARMASU KAUSALAM. Authenticity in action. That is what Krishna says here. Once you have renounced in the inner space, it doesn't matter what you do in the outer world. Nothing will touch you. Do you think that master even bothered about touching that woman when he was lifting? He did not. He was just attending to her, helping her. He left her. He never even realized what he did in the outer space. It never touched him. But the disciple, who was continuously boiling inside, even without touching that woman, he was still holding the woman. And Bhagavan is answering Arjuna Arjuna asked the question, who is the Sthita Prajna? How does he walk? How does he talk? How does he sit? Here, Bhagavan is saying, surely, not even for a moment, such people, such Sthita Prajnas, sit without doing anything. They are always in action, authentic action. Despite himself, he'll be going on, doing something. Understand? He who restrains the sense organs, look at this, he who restrains the sense organs but who still thinks of the objects of the senses is deluded and is called a hypocrite. Sthita Prajna will be continuously performing an authentic action, but absolute silence inside. He will not be thinking about the objects of the senses. He who begins controlling the senses with the mind and performs selfless work through the organs of action is superior, O Arjuna. O Arjuna, do your prescribed work, as doing work is better than being idle. Even your own body cannot be maintained without work. Listen, Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, all of you are Arjunas. Do your prescribed work, as doing work is better than being idle. Because even your own body cannot be maintained without work. See, understand, usually people ask Swamiji, you say that life is purposeless, then I may as well just lie down and relax. Who will give me food? Who will pay my bills? Swamiji says, you can never lie down forever. You may lie down for the next 4 or 5 days or for a week at the most, because you always go to the extreme like a pendulum. After that, you will not be able to lie down. Try once. Sleep for 1 week and see what will happen. After that, you will not be able to lie down. By your very nature, you will start doing some work. So when I say life is purposeless, I am not asking you to just lie down and relax in your house. All I am saying is, let your body and mind work without disturbing your inner space of completion. Your core should not be disturbed, isn't it? You don't have to sell your inner space to enjoy the outer place. Listen, you don't have to sell your inner space to enjoy the outer place. Outer place is different, inner space is different. You don't have to sell your inner bliss to have outer comforts. Here Krishna assures you, by your very nature, your body and mind will work. If you just keep quiet, that is enough, nothing else. All you need to do is just keep quiet. By your very nature, your body and mind will work. Somebody asked, Swamiji, how should I train my mind to do the right thing? Swamiji told him, just keep quiet, nothing else. Automatically your body and mind will do the right thing. If you just get out of your system, you should need to get out of your own system. Stop probing and stop doing things. It is enough. The divine will get in. If you get out of your system, divine will get into your system. Give space for divine to enter. All we need to do is just get out for the divine to enter. By nature, he says, by their very nature, your body and mind know the right thing to do. The problem is that you never trust your body and mind. You always trust your ego, and it finally dumps you. Yet you never trust your body and mind. Be very clear, your body and mind will do their work. All you need to do is keep quiet and relax from your ego. Don't think your inner space is needed for outer work. The person who understands what Nitya, eternal is, and what Anitya, ephemeral is, relaxes into existence and is always in eternal consciousness. He always resides in Nitya Ananda, eternal bliss. Understand? Karma Yogi works with courage of authenticity. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, a Karma Yogi, one who lives the path of authenticity in action, is a man who relaxes into Nitya Ananda and does his work from the space of completion. Just relax into your inner space and be complete. You will automatically be guided. You always think, if I relax mentally, thinking life is purposeless, how will I know what is right and what is wrong? How will I finish my work on time? How will I attend to my clients? How will I attend to my patients? When you worry about what is right and what is wrong, you will not make small mistakes, you will commit big blunders. Taking the risk and jumping into the space of completion and living without worry and self-doubt is what Swamiji calls as courage of authenticity. The courage to enter spiritual life. That is spiritual life. Listen. Taking the risk and jumping into the space of completion and living without worry and self-doubt is what is called courage of authenticity. The courage to enter spiritual life. Spiritual life is not about wearing one mala and changing your clothes and removing all your jewelry. No. Spiritual life is not that. It's the courage of authentic action. Just standing up for any consequences. Then you will see only the best consequences will happen. Only the best thing will happen. He knows best for us than what we know best for us, isn't it? When you take the jump, you will naturally make some small mistakes. Don't worry about them. Putting up with that mistake is what is called as penance, tapas. When you take a jump, you will naturally make some small mistakes. Yeah, but that's okay. Don't worry. You tolerating those mistakes and putting up with that mistake is what is called as penance, tapas. Penance is nothing but accepting and completing with the small mistakes you make and restoring your integrity and authenticity when the conscious transition happens in your being. Penance is nothing but accepting and completing with the small mistakes you make and restoring your integrity and authenticity when the conscious